All right, so welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Excited to be here.
Today we're going somewhere pretty amazing.
Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued.
It is the Acton Tulikalo Muknal Cave,
Okay.
which most people just call the ATM Cave.
AG?
It is in Belize,
Yeah.
and we're going to be going through a few different types of sources to learn more about this. So we
Awesome.
got the Wikipedia article, obviously.
Of course, got that.
We have some travel blogs from people that have been there,
Cool. First-hand accounts.
and then also a few tour websites.
Makes sense.
Because this is a place that you can actually visit.
All right.
So we're going to try to cover everything you need to know about the ATM Cave.
Oh.
Why it's so special, what you can expect if you go on a tour,
Okay.
and why it's considered one of the top sacred caves in the world.
Wow. Right. Setting the bar high.
Well, this is a pretty amazing place.
Okay.
So to kind of set the stage,
Yeah.
the ATM Cave is located in the Tapir Mountain Nature Reserve,
Okay.
which is near San Ignacio in Belize.
Got.
The cave system itself is about 3 miles long,
Wow, that's extensive.
and it was formed by a river passage.
Oh, so it's like carved out by water over time.
Exactly.
Neat.
And it's got all these different upper passages that were actually used by the ancient Maya.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not just a geological formation. It's got like historical and cultural significance too.
Yeah. So this is really a key thing.
Okay.
This cave is super important as a Mayan archaeological site.
So they didn't just like stumble upon it, they actively used it.
Right.
Interesting.
They used it for ceremonies and rituals.
Like what kind of rituals?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
I'm listening.
They would do human sacrifices in here.
Oh, wow.
And this was between 300 and 900 AD.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And because of that, there are so many artifacts in here.
Oh, I bet.
And even skeletal remains.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are actually calcified to the cave floor.
So they're like part of the cave itself now?
Yeah, it's a crazy process.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening with like minerals and stuff, but I've never really thought about it happening to bones.
Yeah, it's wild. And it makes them look really cool.
Oh, I bet.
So the calcification process is actually
Yeah.
what makes these remains so interesting.
Okay.
Over time, these minerals from the dripping water in the cave,
Mm-hmm.
they coat the bones.
Makes sense.
And it gives them this shimmer.
Oh, wow. So they're like sparkly skeletons.
Pretty much.
Creepy and cool at the same time.
Yeah. And the most famous example is the Crystal Maiden.
The Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
I think so vaguely. I don't remember the details.
So picture this. You've got this skeleton, probably of a young person,
Okay.
and it's completely encased in these sparkling calcite crystals.
Oh, wow. So it's not just like a little shimmer. It's like full on crystal encrusted.
Right?
That's both beautiful and kind of eerie.
Yeah. It really makes you think about like the life of this individual.
Yeah, like who were they?
Why were they there?
What was their role in all of this?
Right? Like what led them to this cave?
Exactly. It's just like a snapshot of a moment in time, but there are so many questions behind it.
Absolutely.
So fascinating.
Now, there are a ton of other artifacts that have been uncovered in this cave.
I bet.
One that was really cool is the monkey pot.
Monkey pot. I love the name.
And it's actually one of only 4
What?
that have ever been found in Central America.
Wow. So
And-
it's like super rare.
Yeah, and the design is very intricate. It wasn't just some simple vessel.
Okay.
You can tell that they put a lot of work into this.
So it must have had a pretty important purpose.
Makes you wonder what they used it for, right?
Yeah, like what were they putting in there? Was it liquids offerings? Who knows?
Right. I mean, what were they doing with this?
So many questions.
And then another interesting thing,
Yeah.
are these ceramics with kill holes in them?
Kill holes. What?
So they intentionally put holes in these objects
Why would they do that?
because they believed it would release the spirits that were inside of them.
Oh, wow. So it's like a spiritual thing. It's like they thought the objects had souls or something.
Exactly.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, I get chills just thinking about it.
I bet it's one thing to read about it, but to actually see these objects in person
Right.
must be a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Like you can really feel the weight of those beliefs.
Yeah, this whole cave, it's just a testament to how complex the Mayan beliefs were.
Absolutely.
And like you can feel that the line between the physical world
Yeah.
and the spiritual world is just super thin here.
It's like a portal to another realm.
And thankfully, this site is accessible to people who want to see it.
Wait, really? You can go there?
You can go there,
I had no idea.
but it's not like your average tourist destination.
Oh, I bet given how important it is, they probably have a lot of restrictions in place
Exactly.
to protect it.
Yeah. It's a very carefully controlled process.
Makes sense.
So you can't just like wander in and do whatever you want.
Good, because I can imagine people would want to like touch things or take souvenirs, which would be terrible.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk about what a tour is like,
Okay, I'm all ears.
because it's an adventure.
All right.
So you start with a 45-minute hike
Okay.
through the Belizean jungle,
Sounds nice.
but it's no walk in the park.
Oh, really?
You're going to be crossing 3 rivers,
Wow.
so you need really good shoes.
So no flip-flops.
Definitely no flip-flops.
Got it.
And then it gets even more exciting.
Oh.
You have to swim into the cave entrance.
You're kidding
Those
me. Swim into it?
12 feet of water.
Whoa. That's a commitment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd be brave enough for that.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like you're going into this darkness.
I bet it feels like you're stepping back in time.
Totally.
Like you're following in the footsteps of the Maya who used to go there.
Yeah. And once you're inside, you'll spend like 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah. Exploring all the different chambers of the cave.
Wow.
You're climbing over rocks. You're wading through streams.
Sounds intense.
And you're squeezing through tight spaces.
Oh, no. I'm claustrophobic.
Well, there's a passage called the headlock.
A headlock. I don't even want to know.
But everyone says it's worth it.
I mean, if you make it through all that,
Yeah.
you must be rewarded with something pretty incredible.
You get to see all those artifacts and remains up close.
Oh, wow. To actually be there in that space?
Yeah. It's one thing to read about it, but to actually be there.
Yeah, it must be mind-blowing. Like,
Yeah.
you can really feel the history and the energy of the place.
Yeah.
So, okay, if I'm thinking about going on this adventure,
Yeah.
what do I need to know? What should I pack?
Good question.
What are your pro tips?
So first of all, clothes.
Yeah,
You want something that can get wet and muddy
makes sense.
and that you can move around in.
Okay.
And obviously good shoes.
Yeah, we talked about the shoes. No flip-flops.
No flip-flops.
Got it.
Sturdy, water-friendly,
Okay.
and then mentally prepare yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be swimming in the dark.
In the dark.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little scary.
And going through small spaces.
Yeah, we talked about that. I'm not a fan of small spaces.
But here's the most important tip.
Okay.
No cameras allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, a few years ago, a visitor actually dropped a camera
Oh, no.
and damaged his skull.
Oh, my God.
So now no cameras.
Wow.
You just have to experience it with your own eyes.
Makes sense. I guess it's also a good reminder to be extra careful and respectful when you're in a place like that.
Yeah, like you said, this is not just some regular tourist spot.
Exactly. It's a fragile historical site.
It's a really fragile historical site.
We should be treating it with the utmost respect.
Yeah, and speaking of respect,
Uh-oh.
this cave presents some interesting ethical dilemmas.
Ethical dilemmas. How so?
Well, we'll get into that after a quick break.
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah, like how do you balance sharing these incredible places
Mm-hmm.
with the need to protect them?
Yeah. And the ATM Cave, especially with the human sacrifice aspect,
Right.
that really adds another layer to the whole ethics of tourism thing.
Yeah, because knowing that people were literally sacrificed here,
Right.
how does that change your experience as a visitor?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely makes you think.
Yeah.
Like you're confronting this whole other culture's beliefs and practices.
Yeah, and a lot of the travel blogs mention this.
Really?
Like they talk about this feeling of heaviness.
Interesting.
Like you're in awe of the place.
Yeah.
But there's also this unease,
I can see that.
like this kind of unsettling feeling.
Yeah, like the echoes of those rituals are still there.
Yeah, it's like you can feel the weight of history.
And the human stories that unfolded there.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's powerful. And some people even talk about feeling a spiritual connection,
Really?
even if they don't believe in the Mayan religion.
It's like the place itself has this energy.
Yeah, it makes you think about the power of certain environments.
Absolutely.
So it all comes back to this question.
Yeah.
Knowing all of this, the history, the fragility, the challenges of getting there,
Right.
is it even ethical to visit a place like this?
It's the million-dollar question.
And there's no easy answer.
Our sources definitely have some different perspectives on it.
Yeah, like some argue that controlled tourism, like they have at the ATM Cave,
Right.
that it can actually help with preservation.
In what way?
Well, the money from the tours,
Yeah.
that can fund research and
Sure.
conservation efforts.
Okay, that makes sense.
And also it raises awareness.
Right. The more people who know about it and care about it,
Exactly.
the more likely we are to protect it.
But then there's the other side of the argument,
Which is...
that any human presence
Yeah.
is inherently disruptive.
Even if we're trying to be careful.
Yeah, like just being there, breathing the air, walking around.
Right. All of that has an impact.
So some people say we should prioritize preservation above all else.
Even if it means limiting access. It's a tough call.
So where do you stand on this?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it's something that every potential visitor needs to think about.
Definitely.
There's no right or wrong answer.
It's about personal values.
Yeah, and maybe sometimes the most ethical choice is to just admire these places from afar.
To let them be.
to learn about them through books or documentaries.
Podcasts.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's enough.
So ultimately, the decision of whether or not to visit the ATM Cave,
Yeah,
it's a personal one,
absolutely.
but hopefully this deep dive has given you some food for thought
I think it definitely has.
and enough information to make an informed choice.
And a respectful choice.
For sure, a choice that shows respect for the site and its history.
To the Mayan people.
Yeah, and for those of you who are intrigued and want to learn more,
Yeah.
we do have some resources for you.
Tell me more.
So we found a couple of tour operators
Okay.
that seem really great.
Who are they?
One is called Private Belize Adventure,
Private Belize Adventure.
and they offer these exclusive tours.
Okay.
They start in Belize City,
Got it.
and they focus on small groups
Mm-hmm.
and a really personalized experience.
So it's not like you're just herded through with a bunch of other tourists.
Exactly.
That sounds nice.
And then there's Belize ATM Tour.
Belize ATM Tour, that's straightforward.
I specialize in these cave expeditions,
So they really know their stuff.
and they're all about sustainable tourism practices.
That's important.
So yeah, we'll have links to both of those in the show notes.
Awesome.
And remember, visiting the ATM Cave,
Yeah.
it's not just about checking it off your list.
Right.
It's about really immersing yourself in the history and the culture.
And the spirituality.
Yeah, and it's about pushing your own boundaries,
Going outside your comfort zone.
both physically and mentally.
I like that.
So whether you decide to actually go there
Yeah.
or just explore it through your imagination,
Right.
hopefully this deep dive has given you a glimpse into this amazing place
It certainly has for me.
and sparked a desire to learn even more.
Agreed. There's so much more to discover.
So that concludes our deep dive into the Tunikil Muknal Cave,
The ATM Cave.
a place where adventure and history and spirituality all come together.
It's been a fascinating journey.
Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning
And keep diving deep.
into the mysteries all around us. So what does all this mean for you, the listener?
Well, I think if you're someone who loves adventure, someone who's drawn to ancient cultures,
Yeah.
and someone who's willing to kind of push their boundaries,
Okay.
both physically and intellectually,
Yeah.
then the ATM Cave might be calling your name.
It's a pretty unique experience,
Oh, for sure.
but it's not something to take lightly.
Definitely not. This is a place that demands respect
Absolutely.
and awareness.
Yeah, you need to understand the significance of this place.
Exactly.
It's not just about checking it off your bucket list.
Right. It's about something deeper than that.
It's about connecting with history.
Mm-hmm. With spirituality.
Yeah, with the power of belief.
And for some people,
Yeah.
the best way to connect with all that
Mm-hmm.
might be to just admire it from afar.
To let it be.
Yeah, to learn about it through books or documentaries.
Maybe even a podcast.
Ex-
So we've included some resources in the show notes
Awesome.
to help you learn more.
About the cave, about Mayan culture.
Yeah, and about responsible tourism.
And of course, we'll include links to those tour operators we mentioned.
Private Belize Adventure.
And Belize ATM Tour.
If you're looking for a guided experience,
They both seem to offer really great tours.
safe, sustainable, and respectful.
That's key.
So whether you decide to make the trip yourself
Yeah,
or just explore it in your mind,
either way.
we hope this deep dive has given you a little glimpse
Into this incredible place.
into the Tunikil Muknal Cave,
The ATM Cave.
a place where adventure history and spirituality.
All come together.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning
And keep diving deep.
into the mysteries all around us.